Hey everyone, welcome to week 15, and we are going to continue talking about melody. So we talked about how melody can move three ways. Melodies can go up, they can go down, and they can stay the same. We also talked about the lines and spaces, and you've played a game called Staff Champion, where some of you did really well on naming the numbers of your lines and spaces. Remember, we always start down at the bottom and we count up. So this just happens to be a 3-line staff because that's all I have at home. I need to bring one of the 5-line staffs home. But we can go 1, 2, 3, and of course for the ones normal staff would have 5 lines and 4 spaces in between. And we said you could use your hand to show a hand staff to help you. So if you forget how many lines and spaces a staff has, you can just use your hand staff and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We always start at the bottom. So this is line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, and line 5. And then we have the 4 spaces in between, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now something that you're going to notice, and we're going to need to know how to name, is the treble clef. So, and this is not in the right spot right here. So it's at the front of the staff, so it comes first, which is correct. But when we have 5 lines, this part right here is going to actually curve around the second line, and we'll talk more about why later on. But for right now, we need to know that this is called a treble clef, and basically it tells us that these are the higher pitches. So the higher voices are singing here, the higher instruments are playing here. But we'll talk more about that. Just know that the treble means high pitches or high notes. We talked about, well, let's just go back and review because this is actually something we haven't covered again this year. So if you're not from our school or if you didn't cover this at your school, you'll catch on really fast. But basically, we know that if so is on a line, me is on the line below it. So let's first look here on the screen. So right here, we're going to call this so. So if so is on a line, me is on the line below it. So anything on a line, if we call this so, the line below it, no matter which line, wherever you are, the line immediately below it is going to be me. And then we also know that la is a next door neighbor to so, but la is higher. So let me show you that on my hand staff. So let's go here, and let's say so is on a line, and this is so. If so is on a line, me is on the line below it. There's a space in between. We talked about those lines and spaces. There's a space in between, because if we look up here, and I don't know how well you can see that from where you are, but here's so so's always going to be higher than me, and there's a for sale sign in between because later on someone else is going to move here in here, so we'll name that one later. But for right now, we need to know that so is higher than me. If so is on a line, me's on the line below it. However, if so moves to a space, me also moves to a space. We talked about last year, they're kind of like best friends. So whatever one does, the other one wants to do. So if I have my staff here, and I'm hoping you can see that, if I have so in a space now, then me is going to be in the space right below it. But then if so moves to a line, me is in the line below it. But just like we read from left to right, we read music from left to right. So if the so comes first, that's what we'd sing first. So this would be so me. But if the me comes first, this would be me so. So we're going to be learning all about reading music and adding some pitches on to the ones that we already know this year. For 3rd grade, you'll be learning the actual pitch names as well. So you'll already be further along with your la's and so's and me's and do's and re's. And then we'll be naming the actual names that you would correlate to the music alphabet and learn a lot more about that. So let's see. Let me go on to, let's go back over here. Oh, but here's la. So that's what I was going to say. Okay, so you've got the for sale sign in between so and me. So there's going to be somebody else that moves in here later. But if you notice, there's no room in between so and la. So they are next door neighbors. So they cannot be on the same thing. So if so is on a line, la is going to be on a space. If so is in a space, la is going to be on a line. They're always next door neighbors, so they cannot be on the same thing. So if we look here on the screen, and I tell you that this is me, we know if me is on a line, so is on the line above it. So we have me, so, and then la. La is going to be a little bit higher, next door neighbor, but in a space. This one starts on la. So who did we say was the next door neighbor to la? Well, if we look up here, the next door neighbor is so. So la, so, and then if so is on a line, me is on a line below it. Let's go on. So we've got the arrow coming down. This one starts on la and then drops way down. We're going to learn this is called a leap. It leaps all the way down. It's not next door, so we know this has got to be me, right? So we have la, me, and then so. Okay, so those, and we're going to go ahead and go on, but you can go back and try to figure those out and work on those. And we're going to go ahead and click on. We're going to learn a new song called Acca-Bacca, and the first thing we're going to do is put the rhythm together. So remember that rhythm, let me find my card. Rhythm are patterns of long and short sounds and silences. So these are going to be easy rhythms for us today because we've only got quarter notes, eighth note pairs, and then our quarter rest. So be my echo. Acca-bacca soda cracker. Acca-bacca soda cracker. Okay, now we're going to clap that out. Acca-bacca soda cracker. So if we just do one, and this is one beat right here. If I do this one beat, acca, we know that's two sounds on a beat. So that's going to be our eighth note pair, right? So you're just going to come and finish these out. Acca-bacca soda cracker. Well, that sounds a lot like a bunch of eighth note pairs, doesn't it? And we have acca-bacca boo. Boo. So that's one sound a beat. So that's going to be our quarter note, right? So then we would have acca-bacca soda cracker, tee 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 tee, acca-bacca boo. Acca-bacca boo. And then we have nothing in a space. So what is it that has a beat but no sound? And that's where our rest will come. So I did this first one for you. Acca-bacca soda cracker, acca-bacca boo. I want you to do the second page on your own. So you'll go back and do that on your own. And I'll say it for you. Acca-bacca soda cracker, out goes you. And you can tell this is a game song that I hope we get to play later. So finish that part out. And then we'll go to next. And now we've got the melody. So notice we have so's, and who did we say is next door to so, but a little bit higher? That's going to be la. So we have so, so, la, la, so, so, me, me, so, so, la, la, so. So let's show that. So here's our so sign. Hopefully most of you remember this. So we have so, so, and then la, 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 so, so, me, me, so, so, la, la, so, and then our rest. So, so, la, la, so, so, me, me, so, so, me. So be my echo. Do the best you can. Here we go. So, so, la, la, so, so, me, me. Your turn. So, so, la, la, so, so, me, me. My turn. So, so, la, la, so. Your turn. So, so, la, la, so. And then what do you notice about the first line here and the first line here. They're the same. So, so, la, la, so, so, me, me. Your turn. So, so, la, la, so, so, me, me. Last measure. So, so, me. Try it. So, so, me. Okay, so that's the melody of that song. We'll be doing more with that song hopefully coming up because I'm hoping we can do the game together. Then you're going to do an assessment based on the lines and spaces, so let's look at that real quick. What music symbol tells us to play or sing higher notes? And we went over that. Is it A, tuba, or B, treble clef? We talked about that. So hopefully you remember which one we talked about. Then you're going to click next question. If so is in a line, me should be on the line below it or in a space. If so is in a line, me is on the... Then we're going to go to the next question. True or false? Notes are always on lines. And we talked about that. So are they only on lines or can they be in spaces too? So figure that one out. Click next. Then you'll have your submit button come up and then the green OK button. And then you are done for this week. I did put some extra, this is in here for body percussion and exploring different body percussion sounds. But basically, let's see, there's some variations. So you can do whisper, talk, shout. You can say it fast, soft, high, or low. There are lots of different opposites. But basically, they're just using that same rhyme and then doing it different ways. And I thought I put, there he goes. That's what I was looking for. I've stuck Frosty the Snowman in here just in case you wanted a nice holiday song. It's here for you. So other than that, make sure that you go back and do the quiz and get that submitted. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye.